I want to add my welcome to all of you to the 62nd Annual of the Society for Public Health Education. I know that annual trustee Eva Doyle and the Conference Planning Committee have been working tirelessly to present you with a meeting that is very consistent with our venue in Washington, D.C. Their efforts have been fully supported by the SOPHE Board of Trustees, and especially by CEO Elaine All and the SOPHE staff. I also want to thank our SOPHE conference supporters, including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, SAGE Publications, the Fry's Foundation, and the National Capital Area SOPHE chapter. Thank you all for your diverse efforts on behalf of what I am confident will be one of SOPHE's most outstanding annual conferences. I also want to thank my family, especially my wife Denise, for her constant support during my SOPHE presidency. And last but not least, I wish to thank my wonderful San Jose State University friends, colleagues, and students. In particular, my friend Kathleen Rowe, who I have worked with for over the last 22 years, along with my colleagues Ed Mamory and Ann Demers, to carry on Helen Ross's legacy and develop an excellent health education and PhD program. I want to thank my friends Frank Stroman and Robert Rink, who have inspired me to take head-on LGBT inclusiveness in SOPHE. They have all been encouraging, thoughtful, supportive, and illuminating. And of course, if you see us together in our offices or at SOPHE meetings, very funny. We truly believe, as E. E. Cummings wrote, the most wasted of all days is one without laughter. As any person who has ever served in a position of leadership knows, what you plan to accomplish and what you actually accomplish can be affected by unexpected events and challenges. Indeed, it's how you address those challenges that determines leadership, failure, or success. Last year, I stood before you and told you that my most important initiatives was to increase the inclusiveness in SOPHE of our LGBT members. I also talked about increasing the involvement of students and Latino SOPHE members in SOPHE leadership roles. We have made some progress across all three initiatives. The latter two, through the implementation of our new strategic plan. In the former, through our process of gathering information from SOPHE chapters and national members on LGBT inclusiveness that will help to shape recommendations during my term in 2012 as past president. In summer 2009, I was elected SOPHE president and quickly learned from then President Kathy Meyer that the SOPHE Executive Committee and Board of Trustees had been having changes in the leadership of the American Association for Health Education, AAHE. In response to queries from AAHE about creating a new organization that could unify the health education profession, over the last 2 years, this has become a central area of activity for me. The SOPHE Executive Committee, the Board of Trustees, and a special merger task force consisting of SOPHE and AAHE leaders is working on this. Simultaneously, I also began to realize that our merger discussions with AAHE had significant implications for SOPHE's inclusiveness of health educators coming from AAHE. However, as I look upon what has occurred over the last 2 years during our discussion with AAHE and envision how these discussions will unfold, I cannot help but reflect on the history of SOPHE and how that may shape who we will be in the next 10 years. In effect, I began to reflect on who SOPHE was, who SOPHE is now, and who SOPHE can be. I am drawing on the research of Flora Bloom and Bill Sissel on SOPHE's history. I'm going to highlight some of the major events in SOPHE's 62-year history and what they mean for the future and what they have meant for health education in the past. SOPHE began in St. Louis, Missouri in 1950 at a meeting of approximately 25 health educators. It was called the Society of Public Health Educators, and not the Society for Public Health Education as we are known today. By the way, annual dues were $5. By the end of the 1950s, SOPHE's Publication Committee had developed its first health education newsletter, which was a brief mimeograph paper. Most of you in the audience will need to ask somebody over 40 what a mimeograph paper is. In 1957, SOPHE published its first issue of the Health Education Monograph series, which then evolved into Health Education Quarterly and is now known as Health Education and Behavior, one of the most prestigious public health journals in the world. In 1952, SOPHE's constitution restricted its membership to a person who has a graduate degree from a school accredited by the American Public Health Association, plus at least 2 years of professional health education experience. It may seem strange to hear that APHA was the public health accrediting body, but our present accrediting body, the Council on Education for Public SOPHE was not established until 1973. So in effect, if you had a bachelor's degree then, or if you were a non-degree community-based health educator, you could not belong to SOPHE. It is important to note here that during that period, there were only 10 schools of public health and 0 graduate public health programs, such as ours at San Jose State University. In effect, SOPHE membership was restricted, both by definition and by the small number of institutions awarding graduate degrees. Today, there are 48 schools of public health, 83 public health programs accredited by SOPHE, for a total of 131 accredited institutions. There are an additional 4 schools of public health and 30 public health programs in the SOPHE accreditation pipeline. The total number of accredited public health schools and programs will potentially increase from 131 to 165 in just the next 2 years. When you include many other institutions, such as those recognized by SAPAC, offering health education degrees, to me, this means that opportunity for growth abounds for SOPHE, the field of health education, and for public health in general. In 1950, SOPHE also began its long and continuous record of forming affiliation by aligning itself with the International Union for Health Education and the National Health Council. By 1959, membership grew to 327 members, and the dues were $750 a year. In 1961, SOPHE expanded its membership inclusiveness and changed its bylaws to permit membership of persons with graduate degrees from schools of public health, but eliminated the 2 years of experience requirement. Persons with a graduate degree that was not from the School of Public Health were required to have a minimum of 3 years of health education experience to become members. Persons with a bachelor's degree were required to have 5 years of experience for membership. In the 1960s, SOPHE also established a central office in New York City. Subsequently, in the 1970s, the office was moved to Berkeley under volunteer executive director Jim Lundgren. It stayed there until 1995 until the combined efforts of Lorraine Clark and Paul Michael and other SOPHE leaders. A contract was negotiated with the state publications that provided the basic resources to move SOPHE to Washington, D.C. Elaine Auld was hired as our executive director. This was a move long advocated by such SOPHE leaders as Irene and John O'Bronte. They and others felt it was important for SOPHE to be at the heart of America's policy-making center in order to advocate for the health education profession. In the 60s, SOPHE recognized 7 regional chapters. Today, we have 19 chapters that cover more than 30 states, northern Mexico, and western Canada. SOPHE passed a resolution to participate in the School Health Education Study, the first of many school health education activities for SOPHE. SOPHE also established honorary fellowship awards and awarded them to public health educators, including Sally Lucas Jean, Dorothy Nicewander, and Claire Turner, our pioneers of health education. Tomorrow, honorary fellowships will be awarded to First Lady Michelle Obama for leading the nation's Best Move program, and to Dr. James Prochaska, internationally recognized for the trans-theoretical model of states of change. The 60s will also obtain a slow membership. At the end of the decade, membership only increased from 327 in 59 to 550 in 1970. SOPHE also experienced and survived some very difficult financial times in the 60s. We had a budget of $11,000 in 1965. Today, our budget is approximately $2 million. In 1969, the Board of Trustees approved to change the SOPHE's name from the Society of Public Health Educators to its present name of the Society for Public Health Education. In conjunction, the board promoted the important concept that SOPHE is devoted to the service for the benefit of public rather than just for the membership of the profession. Let me repeat that. SOPHE is devoted primarily to service for the benefit of the public rather than just for the membership or the profession. I believe that this was a milestone public statement. But as a person who grew up in South Florida during segregation and Jim Crow, I also believe that this statement also reflected the effects of the Civil Rights Movement and the resulting common sense thinking of SOPHE leaders whose foundation was grounded in social justice. Probably no SOPHE member reflected this better than Dorothy Nicewander, who taught at UC Berkeley. In her 1966 landmark lecture in Berkeley, California, The Open Society, Its Implications for Health Educators, as my friend and colleague, past SOPHE President Kathleen Rose so eloquently noted during the presidential address in Boston in November 2000, Dorothy imagined that the Open Society was comprised of dreamers and activists, in which diversity is celebrated and dissent and disagreement and the very ideas are necessary for growth and possibility. A society in which our dreams and values and deepest commitments are realized in our daily actions, and no one is left behind. In the 70s, SOPHE's concern to finding membership continued. The Board of Trustees decided to drop the criterion for potential members to be engaged in community health education. They reduced the full-time experience requirement for those with a graduate degree, but not in the School of Public Health, from 3 years to 1, and from 5 years to 3 years for those with a bachelor's degree. Combined with active recruitment, membership grew from 550 in 1970 to nearly 1,200 in 1975. Today, we have a combined chapter and national SOPHE membership of approximately 4,000 members. Among the many honorary fellow awards that were given out in the 1970s, in 71, an honorary fellow award was given to the health educator Miriam Raycon. Her SOPHE legacy continues, as she donated significant funds to create an award in her name. The scholarship award in her name provides $1,500 support for 2 undergraduate and or graduate level full-time students in pursuit of education and professional development in health education. Vivian and others began with former SOPHE President John Ellicott, who later described as a culture of giving. Today, SOPHE has nearly $1.4 million in resources that include investments, scholarship funds, and a 21st century fund. It is important to note that in 2010, 70% of SOPHE's donations came from individuals like you. In 71, the SOPHE newsletter was published and mailed to members. Today, it is delivered electronically to all SOPHE members. In 76, the SOPHE Northern California chapter created a task force to develop the first health education professional code of ethics. The task force was chaired by Elizabeth Bernheimer and included Paul Michael. The code of ethics was revised in 1983 and again in 1992. Subsequently, in collaboration with AHI and other members of the Coalition of National Health Education Organizations, a unified code of ethics was approved in 1999. In 1975, past presidents Larry Green and Sigrid Dees were appointed editors of SOPHE's health education monographs and increased the focus on publishing research and practice articles. Today, our publications, health education, and behavior and health promotion practice certainly reflect Larry and Sigrid's legacy. In 1976, under a task force chaired by Helen Ross, guidelines for the preparation and practice of professional health educators was developed. This led to a 1978 meeting with SOPHE President Helen Ross and representatives of the Coalition of National Health Education Organizations began to identify the role of health educators. In collaboration with the National Center for Health Education, this effort became known as a 3-year-long role delineation project. The role delineation project was critical to our field. The role of the entry-level health education specialist was researched and defined during the years 78 to 81. It became the basis for the health educator just got into the process. In the early 2000s, the Competencies Update Project conducted by SOPHE, AHI, and other health education leaders who were part of the National Task Force on Accreditation of Health Education redefined entry-level and advanced competencies, which led to the new Master Certified Health Education Specialist, MCHES, and is now exploring the accreditation of undergraduate programs. In his 1998 presidential address, John Gromby highlighted the tremendous changes that occurred within SOPHE through the arduous efforts of many, including health education allies, in the 21-year period between 1970 and 1998. Just let me highlight some of the most important achievements that John noted during that period. The field of health education, firmly on its science base, demonstrated the power of health education to influence health schemes. Health education was formally recognized and codified as a professional occupational field by the U.S. Department of Labor. Health educator Audrey Gotch was about to assume the presidency of the American Health Association, the first health educator ever to be elected president. We established a public health education leadership institute in collaboration with the State Association of State and Territorial Directors of Health Promotion and Public Health Education. And on that day, John announced the first of its kind peer-reviewed journal dedicated to practice, the Journal of Health Promotion Practice, would be launched in 1999. In 1998, John also cautioned us to stay cognizant of upcoming trends and the implication of those trends for the field of health education. He recognized that we exist in a global community with health issues such as tobacco cutting across international boundaries. Today, nearly 15 years after John's speech, obesity is becoming a worldwide crisis. Clearly, health educators in community settings and in schools can extend this slide. The last 10 years, SOPHE has expanded its global experience by collaborating with the International Union for Health Promotion and Education for the 2008 Galway Consensus Conference to identify global health promotion competencies. Finally, John also noted the impending explosion of the World Wide Web and its potential effect on our content and communication. But this was way before electronic media and tools such as Steve Jobs' iPhone and the iPad, before YouTube and other social media such as Facebook and Twitter. Indeed, CDC was an active user of Twitter to keep public health departments informed during the H1N1 outbreak in 2009. Today, SOPHE has kept in line with those advances by adopting many of the communication methods just mentioned, including webinars that in 2011 reached 1,000 people. As you can see, we have accomplished a lot in the last 62 years, and I've only scratched the surface. Our achievements in collaboration with our health education allies, such as SOPHE, have had a national effect on health education identity, research, practice, curriculum, publications, and disparities. But I believe that these achievements are a result of an acknowledgement among SOPHE members that SOPHE is devoted primary concern for the benefit of the public, rather than just for the membership or the profession. In that respect, my speech is a call to action for SOPHE members and our allies. But before I describe what you can do, let me preface what I have to say with a story. In 1991, about a year after I came to teach at San Jose State University, Kathleen Rowe was serving as Northern California SOPHE chapter president and chairing the planning committee for the chapter's annual conference. One of the things I remember the most about that conference was that Kathleen showed a video recording of health education pioneer Dorothy Nice when we were talking about what it really meant to be a health educator. I believe Dorothy was about 95 years old at that time, so she certainly had that long-term experience. She talked about the very early days of the health education profession, but the most important thing I took away from seeing the video was that Dorothy said that, above all, health educators are agents of change. Think about what Dorothy said, what it means to be an agent of change. Now, let me describe how I believe you can be an agent of change and help SOPHE to meet its challenges and achieve its new heights in the second decade of the 21st century and the decades that follow. For I am confident that many of you will be lifelong SOPHE members, like so many who came before you. First, in 2010, the Board of Trustees approved and began to implement a new strategic plan. In my more than 20 years as a SOPHE member, I have never seen a plan that was so ambitious, and I mean that in a very positive way. The plan, available on the SOPHE website, was developed by a 20-member planning committee spread across 4 work groups and was co-chaired by Bob Gold and Kathy Meyer. The plan has 2 goals. In goal 1, SOPHE will be the authoritative source for health education and health promotion. It has 4 priority areas: professional development, health education advocacy capacity building, advocacy for policy issues, and advocacy for the profession. Across this goal, there are 31 objectives and 20 strategies. In goal number 2, which is to optimize SOPHE's organizational performance, the 6 priority areas are advanced research in the field, promote the adoption of evidence-based practice, create leadership opportunities for staff and volunteers, expand SOPHE's public relations, marketing and communication, monitor and evaluate organizational performance, and finally, ensure sustainable resources for SOPHE. Across goal number 2, there are 31 objectives and 20 strategies. The goal 1 and 2 objectives are spread across a 5-year period. However, every single one of those 61 objectives and 40 strategies must be implemented, measured, and reported. Diane Ellsworth, Bob Gold, and Rick Kane are in the process of assigning responsibilities for implementation and tracking of those objectives. Much of this will fall under trustees and executive committee. However, it has become very apparent to the SOPHE leadership that we need your help. I am confident that across those 2 goals, 10 priority areas, 61 objectives, and 40 strategies, that there isn't a single person in this room who cannot find an objective or strategy where their knowledge or skills can be applied. So I urge you, become an agent of change and offer your assistance to your SOPHE leaders as we continue to implement this landmark strategic plan. As you can see from my overview of SOPHE history, SOPHE has redefined its definition of membership inclusion many times. In this respect, it can be said that the SOPHE leaders have kept an open mind as the world changed around them. We evolved from a time 60 years ago when a SOPHE member was required to hold a graduate degree in public health. Today, anyone who feels they identify with SOPHE's purpose is free to join. Indeed, let me quote from the latest SOPHE bylaws. What constitutes a SOPHE member? An individual member shall be a public health educator who is a professional with a graduate or undergraduate degree in a formal public health education or related program. A professional who is employed or is functioning in a public health education capacity. A faculty member of a public health education program. A student in a public health education program. A retired public health educator. And finally, and or anyone with an interest in public health education. Sounds very inclusive, but is it enough? I mentioned earlier that over the last 2 years, we've been having very serious discussions with the AHI leadership on merging the two organizations. AHI has been part of the American Alliance for Health and Physical, AHI has been part of the American Alliance for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance, AFER, for many, many years. Many of the AHI members identify themselves as health educators. Indeed, within your SOPHE leadership, at a minimum, past Presidents Collins Armua and Diane Ellsworth, and your incoming President Bob Cole, and your new President-elect Kelly McCormick Brown have all served in AHI leadership roles during their careers. However, this is not the first time that SOPHE and AHI have discussed the merger. In the mid-1980s, SOPHE President Larry Green and AHI President Peter Cortese led a task force in an effort to combine both organizations. This effort went on for almost 10 years before both organizations agreed that, as Larry told me recently, the time was not right. However, SOPHE and AHI continue to collaborate on behalf of the health education field. So, where are we today in terms of SOPHE and AHI? Well, nearly 3 years ago, AFER decided that it wanted to reorganize in a manner that is very focused on the field of physical education and health. AFER informed the AHI leadership that they were free to begin discussions with SOPHE in what was at that time described as the unification of the health education profession. Personally, I don't think that a SOPHE and AHI merger will unify the health education profession, as there are other organizations who are not part of these merger discussions. However, a merger could certainly strengthen the health education profession and allow us to speak in a louder voice on behalf of the health of the public. So that's what started our discussions with AHI. Over the last 2 years, we have held numerous telephone conferences and documented exchanges that culminated in a face-to-face meeting in July 2011 at the University of Perales School of Public Health, where we were hosted by SOPHE President-elect and School Dean Bob Gold. On this meeting of 14 SOPHE and AHI representatives, it was facilitated by Kathy Meyer, a framework for future discussions emerged. In September of this year, the AFER Board of Governors made a very important decision where they unanimously voted to formally approve the separation of AHI from AFER. This process will take approximately 18 more months to complete, with expected final and legal separation in May of 2013. However, between now and then, SOPHE and AHI leaders will continue their due diligence discussion to address how to incorporate AHI journalism and its legacy of awards and scholarships into the merged organization under the July framework. I believe that we will be able to figure these things out. However, I believe that an important issue will be the inclusion of AHI members who identify themselves as school health educators and may not feel they have a home in an organization that is perceived by some as strictly public health education. My own feeling is that school health educators are us. We are all interested in improving the health of the public, whether it is in broad community health settings or local elementary schools. In addition, school health education is not new to SOPHE. We have long had funded initiatives, special interest groups, and now communities of practice in the area of school health education. Again, school health educators are us. So how can you be engaged in change? Here's how. Over the next 18 months and beyond, we will be seeking ways to welcome AHI members into the SOPHE family. We need your ideas for outreach, but most of all, we need your assistance in helping those health educators when they decide to join SOPHE and attend your chapter meeting and social national conferences to feel welcome. We all know what it's like to walk into a strange home, be greeted by a smiling face and a welcoming hand. It makes all the difference in feeling included. Following this plenary session, AHI President Tom Davis and I will be hosting a fireside chat where you can come and ask us questions and offer any idea you might have for the inclusion of AHI members. As I noted earlier, last year, me, Frank Stoner, and Robert Green created an LGBT subcommittee to explore ways that we can increase the inclusion of our LGBT members. However, discussions of inclusion are not new to For example, as pointed out by Kathleen Rowe in her 2000 presidential speech in Boston, the SOPHE board approved a resolution on multiculturalism by Stephen Thomas in 1991 to ensure the inclusion of gender, race, sexual orientation, disabilities, and social class issues in SOPHE conferences and publications. This also called upon SOPHE to provide leadership to include diversity in chapter and national governance. In 2000, Kathleen Rowe and Rebecca Reeve established the Open Society Commission. During the 2000 annual meeting, the SOPHE board approved a resolution to take specific action to eliminate health disparities associated with race and ethnicity in the U.S. During the subsequent mid-year meeting in May 2001, the Open Society Commission had a resolution to eliminate health disparities associated with sexual orientation approved by the SOPHE board. So we have been down this road before, but I think it's time that we recommit to the principles of inclusion established by Stephen, Kathy, and others. The LGBT committee is headed by Frank Stone and Robert Ray. Over the year, they have gathered data from nearly 200 SOPHE members so far on their options, on their opinions of the inclusiveness of SOPHE chapters and national SOPHE LGBT members. Some of this information was presented at the mid-year meeting in Albuquerque. While I firmly believe that SOPHE members have a welcoming and inclusive heart, we have found from our information that the great majority of SOPHE members are unsure about their chapters or national SOPHE level of inclusiveness of LGBT members, whether it was inclusive language in the mission statement, having a chapter LGBT committee, whether a chapter of trainings or programs that reflected current LGBT themes. I was a bit surprised with the uncertainty because I know that we are not a profession that is comfortable with uncertainty about important issues. But I would like for you to join us in Agents of Change. I would like to see SOPHE become an organization where no gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender person ever says to me again, as a friend of mine did very recently, I was a member of SOPHE for 1 year, but as a gay man, I never felt welcome. By the way, the electronic survey is still open for your comments. This afternoon at 1:15, Robert, Frank, and I will host a session on LGBT inclusively. We welcome you to join us to hear what we have learned and invite you, in conjunction with the LGBT members and our SOPHE families, to engage in change. In closing, I want to say that I'm very proud to be a SOPHE member. I'm very honored to have served as its president over the last year. However, I recognize that SOPHE is only as good as its members are active. In my upcoming role as past president, I hope to emulate the many presidents, past presidents, and SOPHE members who have served and they continue to play roles in raising SOPHE's prominence in the field of health education, in areas such as credentialing, health disparities, and above all, their willingness to speak truth to power in such venues as the electronic and print media, the halls of Congress, and even the streets of America. The primary reason that I know I will stay involved is because, like you, I too want to continue to be an agent of change. Thank you.